Hey there, I'm Paul Deakin from the Mavericks with the boss lady, Leanne on countryboss.com.
Welcome, Paul. It's been a long time. I think the last time we spoke, it was in Ottawa. You were it was in the 90s, and you were on, I think it was the Tim McGraw tour. It really didn't matter who else was on the bill because I was there to see the Mavericks.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think that was, as a matter of fact, the tour that I met my wife.
Cool. Did you meet her in Ottawa?
No, Winnipeg.
Get out of town, really? That's cool.
I married a Winnipeg girl, yeah. Between you and I, here's the thing. So you're in Winnipeg. My current wife and second wife is, met her in Winnipeg. But my first wife's name is Leanne.
Oh.
I'll try not to hold it against you.
I'm sorry that your first bad experience was my namesake. Apologize for that.
Oh, it wasn't a bad experience. I'm teasing you. It's just an easy joke to make.
Well, yes, I do know from past experience that you're a bit of a joker. And in fact, this first story I have to tell you is a kind of about a joke that you made during that last interview way back in the 90s in Ottawa. And at the interview that I was doing, I also had you and Robert do splitters for the station. And so the script was there and it said, hey, Ottawa, it's Robert and Paul from the Mavericks. But something that you said has stuck with me ever since. Robert started the script and he said, hey, Ottawa. And you jumped in and said, why, Ottawa? And so now every time I'm feeling frustrated with somebody, I still say it. And
why, Ottawa?
And I think of Paula and Robert from the Mavericks every single time. So there you go.
Forever ingrained in your memory.
Part of my common vernacular.
Wonderful.
Okay, so you guys are basically on a reunion tour here after having been apart, so sadly, for so many years. Broke a lot of hearts. What was the catalyst to getting back together? What's the story behind that?
Well, and it's interesting you said call it a reunion tour because I think we're getting past the reunion tour phase now because we're still together.
Right.
Initially, that was the catalyst. Somebody had put it together, the idea of, 20 or 30 shows or whatever, and offered us a ridiculous amount of money to do it. And so they talked to us all separately. And I said, well, Raul doesn't want to do that. He's doing it. And he said, no, he does. And I was like, really? So I said, well, we'll have to get together and have dinner and discuss this because I'm interested in doing it, but it has to be that everybody wants to do it. So we met for dinner supposedly to just talk about this reunion tour, and lo and behold, when we got there, Raul said, I don't really want to just do a reunion tour because it seems disingenuous to just go out and play the old hits. I've got some songs that I said, and I've played them for Scott Bruschetta from Big Machine, who was just a radio promotions guy at MCA Universal in the early 90s and broke What a Crying Shame for us. So, and he played him for him, and now he's, the big wig at the CEO and owner of Big Machine Records, the Taylor Swift label. So, and he said, yeah, whatever you guys want to do, I'll put out a record. And Sorrell says, I want to do a record. So what kind of turned out with the idea of 20 dates may turn into another 20 years because we got into the studio and made in time. And it was pretty amazing that it had been that length of time, which was great because we weren't burnt out. I mean, honestly, we broke up because we'd been touring for 13 years and we were burnt out on music, burnt out on traveling, burnt out on each other. So we much needed the time apart. And so the reunion of us of sorts getting back together, we didn't even play one note live before we went directly into the studio. I think that we'd all hopefully grown a little bit, and it was just such an incredibly great experience of brotherhood, and also musically it was the best time I've ever had in the studio, just creatively and everything else. And I think what came out of it, the record that came out of it shows that. Started out as 20 days, might turn into another 20 years because he's already writing the next record, and we've been touring in time for a year, and we're just kind of hitting some spots that we haven't. So, yeah.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it, that you come back together after all that time, and the magic is not only still there, but better than ever? I think that's got to be rare.
It is. I think one guy had said, as a matter of fact, a guy from Canada, I believe, said, he goes, I was looking at the Metascore on In Time, and he said it's ridiculous. It's in the 90s. So it's ridiculous. I've never seen a reunion record in that kind of thing. And I was like, so I don't think we're going to wait 7 years to make the next one because we're all very still enthused from the creative process that fueled us for this. So we're going to keep riding that as long as we can. And also we're smarter and know how to take better care of our business and ourselves on the road and not overdo or,
So in other words, there's not going to be as many juicy stories from the road, but certainly still a lot of fun.
Well, there'll still be some. Don't worry.
Work something up for us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about the happenings on the road. What are some of the coolest stories from the road since you've been back at it?
The big picture is that I don't believe the band has ever sounded better. It's just, I don't know, maturity or maybe the fuel that we got from having made that record. It's just the joy is back. And that's one of the reasons we always had that. It's always been a joyful band, so we kind of said if it ever isn't fun for us, if you're ever up there just phoning it in, then we were going to stop, which is why we did stop. Mm-hmm. So that's back, and that's, you rarely get a second chance at that. So that stands out, and also that we're selling out all these shows, so nobody forgot us. We were like, wow. Yeah. So that's also the impressive thing, that people are still coming out, and that it's as much fun or more fun than we had the first time around. I'd say that's the standout thing to me. Raul's voice, strangely enough, gets better with age. So, yeah, and we're doing, 2.5 hour shows. Damn
you, men. It always works that way. The boys get better with age, and the women, it's just a flippin' battle to the death.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Our personalities get better, but geez.
Well, my lower back sucks, if that helps at all.
Oddly enough, it does make me feel better. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, Leanne.
All right. So talking about the show, the last time I saw you, you had the full horn section and the whole shebang. What are we expecting this time out? Is it the same deal?
It is, with maybe a couple other implements. Robert is now playing acoustic guitar, and we have an upright bass player. So there's that, tonal quality that's slightly different. And we have Michael Guerra on accordion, who's a virtuoso. He's played with Flacco Jimenez, everyone, playing accordion with us, and we still have a horn section.
Wicked.
It's a two-piece horn section, but with the accordion, it fills up. So,
God, I can't wait to see it. Seriously, your music just makes me happy, and I couldn't have been. I was probably the happiest person ever outside of the band when you guys got back together. So thanks for that.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah, we're all really looking forward to your show here in Winnipeg. And, it's kind of funny because, man, like so much time has gone by. When we last spoke, Robert was still married to Trisha Yearwood.
Right.
And
I don't even think I had met. I was on that tour that I met my current wife in Winnipeg. We were up there for Tim, and we went into, used to be a club called Pockets. Downtown, that she was a kind of a really upscale pool hall and had a music room upstairs. As a matter of fact, a couple of years before I met her, I sat in with some of the guys from the Crash Test Dummies and apparently stumbled down the stairs and proposed to her then. And
that's so romantic.
So, yeah, wasn't it? And Robert and I had gotten into town the night before the concert with Tim McGraw, and we went to see Good Will Hunting, and we were sober and went into the bar to, play a game of pool or something, and my now wife was managing the place, and she saw us and said, I haven't seen you. Well, we can't cuss on. Can we cuss on the internet?
Sure.
So I haven't seen you assholes in a couple of years, and I was like, looked at Robert like, who's this? And she goes, no, I met you. I ran in. She goes, well, I kind of caught you falling down those stairs. You actually proposed to me, so we started sparring, like talking. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was embarrassed, but the offer's still open, and we joked. Ended up having lunch the next day. She couldn't come to the show. Didn't really care about the Mavericks much. Didn't really know them, and fell in love at lunch and talked on the phone. And she came to Nashville. Got to Nashville on St. Patrick's Day, and we were married 10 days later.
That's wicked.
And our second son was born 10 years to the day she came to Nashville. So it's a good story. Wonderful.
How long exactly have you been together now? What's your anniversary this year?
My wife and I are 16 years coming up.
So I guess that's a long enough investment to know for sure that she didn't just marry you to get away from the cold in Winnipeg.
Right. Exactly.
It's kind of positive.
I think
now.
she would have gone a little further south if she thought that.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see you up here, and the new music. I'm pretty excited about it. Was playing the record, and the tunes are awesome, and I'm so glad to hear you keeping them coming.
Wonderful. Thank you, Leanne.
Do you know what you're looking at for the next album, or you're just in the writing process?
I believe it's going to be a first quarter release around the same time that this one was released into 2013. I believe it'll be sometime in the first quarter, 2015. Even before I met my wife, I've always loved Winnipeg. I mean, and that theater was called something else when we used to play there.
You know what? This is my first year in Winnipeg. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary here on the 28th of February. It's my first Manitoban winter, and it's the coldest one in a century. But it is a cool town, and it's interesting that you say that you liked Winnipeg even before you fell in love here, because it's a cool place. I'd never been here before I came here to work a year ago, and the town has a really cool vibe to it, and especially the music scene and the art scene. It's huge here, and I guess maybe it's because it's so damn cold. You have to create inside.
It's true. That's true. I mean, there's a lot of incredible musicians there. I go down to, what is it, the King's Head on Sunday nights, which is cool because we're playing Sunday night, and we'll probably end up over there jamming because friend of mine works there, but it's some of the best blues music that musicians that I've heard, some of the best pool players. And that's the other thing. My wife kicked my butt in pool, and I'm a pretty good pool player, which also made me like her, fall in love with her more, because I don't know. But the indoor sports are very big up there.
Looking forward to some indoor dancing at the Burt in Winnipeg with the Mavericks on Sunday, March the 16th. Thank you, Paul Deakin.
Thank you, Leanne. Hey there, I'm Paul Deakin from the Mavericks, and you're with the boss lady, Leanne Cater, on QX 104.
Lovely. Same thing on countryboss.com.
What was it?
The same thing, just only on countryboss.com.
Countrybox.com.
Country Boss. Like a boss.
Country Boss, okay. Hey there, it's Paul Deakin from the Mavericks, and you're with the boss lady, Leanne Cater, on countryboss.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right, my friend, and we'll see you at the show and maybe at the King's Head.
Okay, sweet. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Okay, Leanne.
Okay,
Talk
bye.
to you later.